One of the main games people have been talking about for the last couple years. It's right around the corner for the current gen consoles, and it will be getting an enhanced port for the next gen. I see a lot of you watching the Chaos Gaming content, but you're not subscribed. Take a second, hit that sub button, ring that bell, turn on the notifications, and let's get the Chaos Gaming subscriber number over 30%. The gaming industry, well, it's screwed up right now, okay? But one thing that is for sure, the new consoles are right around the corner. The Xbox Series X and the PS5 are reportedly still on schedule to release by the end of this year, and that means there are going to be plenty of new games to play as well. So today, I would like to check out 10 new first-person shooters that are 100% confirmed for the new consoles. What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Do me a favor, turn on your notifications, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I want you guys to let me know which of these FPS titles you are most excited for the next-gen consoles. Let's go. Let's start things off with a game that was hyped like crazy a few years ago, but then it just went poof and disappeared. Dying Light 2. It is the sequel to the surprisingly good zombie survival game from 2015. Dying Light, the original, had a big open world, it had parkour movement, and a silly but engaging story. Dying Light 2, on the other hand, will feature an even bigger world, a lot more movement, and combat options, and it's going to play more like an RPG thanks to branching storylines, some different dialogue trees, and more customization in the story progression. Now, the developers are also reportedly bringing in some of the writers from The Witcher 3. They're going to help flesh out the world, no pun intended, and bring this zombie sandbox to life in an even greater way. Now, personally, I'm excited. This seems like it's going to get a pretty big progression from the first game, which was already a solid starting point. Now, Dying Light 2 doesn't have a solid release date yet, but we know it will be released for both the current console generation and the new ones, so it's likely to be around the launch window for the next-gen consoles. Next up is Apex Legends. Now, hold on. Apex has had a pretty big success rate ever since its surprise launch last year, and I know it's had its ups and downs, but it's remained one of the biggest free-to-play games in the world ever since it came out, and that's a huge achievement. It's a hero shooter battle royale hybrid, and it's garnered a huge following thanks to its unique gameplay. It's got some fun characters, an interesting world, and according to EA, it will be coming to the new consoles as well. EA announced last year that they are working on a mobile port of the game, and that will be playable on new consoles. Now, there's no exact release date, but inside reports say that Apex will get an official PS5 and Xbox Series X port in the fiscal year of 2021, which actually begins in October of 2020. So that could be soon. There's no word on whether this could mean crossplay in the future for Apex, but I certainly hope so. And honestly, I'm surprised they haven't added it yet. At number 8, Fallout 76. Now this one is a little bit of speculation, but I think there's a good chance it's going to happen. Fallout 76 launched a while back and it was an absolute disaster. Nobody's going to deny that fact. However, with the recent updates, it's gotten a lot better, to the point that it actually has a pretty healthy following right now. Now, if you remember, Elder Scrolls Online had a somewhat similar progression. It didn't launch as badly as Fallout 76, but it started off underwhelming. But it was constantly updated, and it got to a good place shortly afterwards. Elder Scrolls Online also got an enhanced port to the Xbox One and the PS4 following its revival. So, if we look at history, and then we take a look at what's happening with Fallout 76 right now, I think it's safe to assume the Xbox Series X and the PS5 will be getting their own enhanced re-release of 76, complete with all the important changes that should have happened on launch day. Now, it hasn't been announced, but I'm going to call it right now in this video. Fallout 76 will get a re-release on the new consoles. Okay, now I know Elder Scrolls is not a first-person shooter, but it's a first-person game. So I wanted to put it on the list. Actually, I had an extra spot. Elder Scrolls 6 was officially announced in mid-2018 with just a little teaser trailer, and that was enough to get fans excited. But there has been a bit of a development. Not too long ago, there was a massive leak surrounding Elder Scrolls 6 revealing new mechanics, story elements in the release window of 2024. Now, I won't say too much about this one because I'm already pretty skeptical of leaks, especially when they're for games that are 4 years out. But we do know that Elder Scrolls 6 is coming, and it's going to be on the Xbox Series X and the PS5. It may not be for a while, but it will be on that generation of console. At number 6, Rainbow Six Siege. Now, this has been one of the biggest shooters in the world for the last couple years, which is impressive considering how underwhelming of a launch this game had in 2015. This tactical shooter helped put Rainbow Six back on the map, and it proved just how much good, consistent updates can do for a game. Now, according to Ubisoft, Siege is getting an enhanced port to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and it will be one of the launch titles as well. There's no official word on just what will change, but I think it's safe to assume the new version will feature improved graphics and higher frame rates. Ubisoft has also stated it will feature cross-generational play, likely meaning the PS4 can play with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X can play with the Xbox One. And it's also somewhat unclear if Siege will be getting a full standalone port to the new consoles, or if it will just be running much better on the new hardware with the same disc. And hopefully, these questions will be answered. But one thing is for sure, Ubisoft has promised Siege will be playable on the new consoles on day one, and it will get a hefty performance boost on the new hardware. Cracking into the top 5, CYBERPUNK 2077. One of the main games people have been talking about for the last couple years. It's right around the corner for the current gen consoles, and it will be getting an enhanced port for the next gen. It's a new adventure from CD Projekt Red. It has you playing as a completely custom protagonist as you explore a future California, completing various objectives, meeting new characters, Keanu Reeves, making a name for yourself. Now, the last major game CD released, it was The Witcher 3, which is widely regarded as one of the best RPGs of all time. So, expectations are through the roof for CYBERPUNK. It is currently set to release on September 17th of 2020 for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, but there will be PS5 and Xbox Series X ports as well once the new systems launch. Now, no release date has actually been set for those. Let's go back to Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Now, this game's title ended up being a little on the nose, okay? Rainbow Six Quarantine is an upcoming co-op PvE game from Ubisoft that we still don't know a whole lot about, but it looks interesting. It's the first new Rainbow Six game since Siege, but it's going to be very different. Rather than be a tactical competitive shooter, Quarantine is a co-op experience with a dark tone and a mysterious new enemy. The franchise's tactical roots will be set on display, and many characters from Siege are sure to make appearances, and it's starting to look like there will be elements of survival horror mixed in as well, as the enemy is apparently some weird alien virus that takes over human bodies. Now, I know it's not super original, but hey, I'm interested to see more about the game, and according to Ubisoft, it's supposed to be released by the end of this year on the current gen of consoles, as well as the next. At number 3, Battlefield. So we don't know much about the game, other than the fact that it does exist. As you guys know, Battlefield has been struggling over the last few years, and following the demise of Battlefield 5, EA announced their plans for the future of the franchise. Rather than keeping it moving as normal, they took a few years off, or they're taking a few years off, so they can really release the next game exclusively on the next-gen consoles. This way, they can really blow us away with the tech, rather than try to develop the new game for 2 sets of consoles. It would be held back. It would definitely be held back on the old hardware. We don't know a whole lot about the game's setting or content, but EA has made it clear that a new Battlefield game will be launching for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 during fiscal year 2022, which begins in October of 2021 and ends in September of 2022. So I'm guessing we're probably going to start seeing some teasers within the next 12 months or so. At number 2, Call of Duty 2020. Speaking of games we don't know a whole lot about, COD 2020 has been in a weird spot. It was supposed to be in development by Sledgehammer, and they were allegedly making a Vietnam-era game, but then apparently there was trouble behind the scenes and Activision brought Treyarch in to lead the project, and then it was rumored to be a Black Ops reboot, but now apparently it's not a Black Ops reboot, but it can still be set in the Black Ops universe, and the whole thing is messy. Activision has made one thing clear, though. There will be a new Call of Duty offering by the end of 2020. And now it's not officially confirmed to be on the new consoles, but I think we all know it's going to be. The last time COD had to transition from one gen to the next, it was COD Ghosts. And I think we all know how much of a missed opportunity that game actually was. So hopefully, COD 2020 isn't held back as much by the old hardware, but then again, I think there's a good chance this game is just a mess all around, so we're going to have to wait and see. And at number 1 today, Halo Infinite. It's huge. Infinite is the third and final game in 343's new trilogy, and it needs to be good. 343 really hasn't done a great job at keeping the Halo community engaged with this series. In fact, they've done the opposite. They push people away, and more every year. I mean, radical changes in the gameplay formula, you name it. The Master Chief Collection, well, that definitely brought back some old players. It did, and 343 has claimed that Infinite will be a return to form, but I'm not going to hold my breath yet. After all, that's what they said about Halo 5 as well, and I think we all know how inaccurate that was. I don't want to sound cynical here, but I just don't have much confidence in 343 at the moment. I really want Halo Infinite to be great. and I want it to be just as fun as Halo Combat Evolved back in the day. I mean, I'm one of those OG guys, okay? That was the very first game I booted up in my original Xbox. So hopefully they prove us all wrong and give us their best Halo offering yet. Infinite is slated to launch alongside the Xbox Series X, but it will also be coming to the Xbox One and the PC, so everybody is going to have a chance to play it. There you have it. Those are 10 new FPS games that are confirmed for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. You let me know which one you're most excited about, drop a like, and I'll see you soon.